What's up, guys? It's Torian X here, and I want to talk about debate rhetoric and trying to find out furthermore what it means. So basically, this video is going to be learning about rhetoric and how it will fully flourish and flesh out my ideas in a sense where it's not as, well, not as confuddled, right? I want to be able to make political content in the future and stand for my points and fully back them up with everything I intend for it to be in this statement because I fully believe in, I fully believe it's going to reality. Like one of my core problems with the Mr. Girl videos I had before was that when he would say something, it would be more an intuition based statement whenever he was forced to say, hey, this is true because he backs off of that because he doesn't do any research that and third. But I feel like doing research and understanding why you say the things the way you say them and how you say them and how you talk about them is very important, and it's very tangentially related to this topic here. So rhetoric is the art of persuasion, which along with grammar and logic or dialectic is one of the three ancient arts of discourse. Rhetoric aims to study the techniques writers or speakers utilize to inform, persuade, or motivate particular audiences in specific situations. So basically, how you form your messaging, how it sounds to other people, and what you're saying as well is just the general consensus I'm getting here. Rhetoric is very important because you have to, in a condensed format, say your entire catalog worth of knowledge on a said subject and bring out the important points of all the words you know, while at the same time not leaving with just a little vague message. Like, for example, if you wanted to talk about why water tastes like shit, you just can't say, my water tastes like shit because I hate it. Like, while that may be a true statement, you have to work on fleshing out more about that said idea that you have about that and expand upon that. It's one of the key things that a lot of writing classes and like English classes as well get you working out on to flesh your papers out some more. I mean, albeit they do encourage you to put in more filler and buffer about the stuff you're working on. But that's one of the things that attract me about writing in general, because you're able to expand upon your idea in ways where if you just kept it bare bones basic, you would not have come to a fully understanding or fully grasp the subject at hand without fully understanding why you think the way you think about the subject and approaching every single possible scenario about said subject, right? Sorry, I flipped up there. So I guess, for example, go back to the water shitty analogy there to work on that rhetoric to fully flesh it out. Because I learned best is from like hyper meta examples on top of examples I just made to counteract those examples. So I'm fully ready to debate whenever. So to fully flesh that out, because my water does taste like shit, it would be like, my water tastes like shit because in a municipality that I currently reside in, they have constant warnings and signs that I have to boil my water about on a monthly basis. So therefore there's some contaminants that do reside in the water on a consistent basis. And also we don't have that much infrastructure focusing on the pipes which come from the main way we get our water from. So therefore, and also the springs, I can do more research on that, this and the third, and I can flesh it out. And then at the end it'd be like, that's my water quality is not as octane or not as quality as I would like it to be, because there are many mitigating factors that would lead for the quality of taste to be just as dismal and abysmal as it is. And honestly, I could even flesh it out as a subject within itself, but that's the whole point there, right? You would gather as many points of research as you need, but not too much, but as you need to make a just 1-2 punch about the subject, step back on it, and then let your debate opponent or the audience you're trying to convince mull over those thoughts that you have said in front of them, right? So I want to go over persuasion as well. Persuasion, or persuasion acts as an umbrella term or influence. Persuasion can attempt to influence a person's beliefs, attitudes, intentions, motivations, or behaviors. One second, we're back. Persuasion is studied in many disciplines. Rhetoric is the study of modes of persuasion in speech and writing and is often taught as a classical subject. Psychology looks at persuasion through the lens of individual behavior, and neuroscience studies the brain activity associated with this behavior. So basically, with rhetoric, which is how you say your ideas, you can use persuasion, albeit, let's just say this is more of a neutral term than the actual negative term that's persuasion using. You can use persuasion with your rhetoric to make your ideas seem way more profound than what they actually are. Not saying that you are dumb as hell and that you have to convince people via magic debate rhetoric. It's that you can turn them into your ideas, but make it in a sense where it seems palatable, it seems appealing, that they would want to understand and fully go into your ideas and understand your emotions and change your behaviors in general, since the whole influence here because of how you presented said subject. It's all the way back to the Mr. Girl topic, right? What Mr. Girl would say in most of his videos in regards to being confronted about said spicy material would be that I want to talk about things that nobody wants to talk talk about. I want to be able to talk about pedophilia without the radical left or even the sometimes Nazis going, whoa, I want to kill our pedophiles. I want to talk about them more. And a lot of people, me included, agree we should be talking about pedophilia in a sense that's just not killing them or being, yes, we need more. We should be able to talk about it in a sense where, you know, hey, maybe they should get help, or hey, you know, maybe we shouldn't advocate for killing them, but at the same time advocate for reducing death penalty. That's not how that works. That's not consistent whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? That appeal, that sort of persuasion and use of rhetoric can draw people to your side no matter what you say after that, because they're already hook, line, sinker from what you initially said, right? And that right there is changing the discussion within itself, because anything he says after that can be viewed as nuanced discussion about pedophilia instead of the concept of him wanting to talk about girls being attractive. That's a whole nother like different subject in general. I could probably get into that later on, but yeah. So that is persuasion. And then the last one is heuristic technique. Is any approach to problem solving self-discovery that employs the practical method that is not guaranteed to be optimal, perfect, or irrational, but is nevertheless sufficient for reaching an immediate short-term goal or approximation. Where finding an optimal solution is impossible and practical, heuristic methods can be used to speed up the process of finding a satisfactory solution. Heuristics can be mental shortcuts that ease the cognitive load of making a decision. So I guess this would be like, it's like, for example, if you apply this to like a real world shit, will be how do you solve the COVID-19 problem, right? One heuristic technique could be just to exterminate all anti-vaxxers. Not realistic whatsoever, but it would immediately just take care of the massive problem with COVID-19, right? Now you have to discuss why that's such an awful, borderline genocidal idea, but that is an example of a heuristic technique. It is employing a practical method is not guaranteed to be optimal. So all these combined, right? Basically, I'm trying to learn here, basically, I'm trying to like utilize from these definitions, learning how to debate this in third, is that to be able to do all this on the fly at the same time while constantly having the thoughts in your head while talking about it is very key and pivotal for a debate, bro, in general, to keep in mind constantly. So you can always stay grounded no matter what happens. Like, for example, if you have someone that says something that actually changes your entire perspective, you will have to break that down and understand why that changed your whole perspective, instead of going like, well, no, you're stupid because like you can't change. You're just a dumb person. Like sometimes you just suck. And you have to understand that people can change their minds. So that is understanding rhetoric, persuasion, and heuristic techniques. I guess it'll be learning about, I don't know. I definitely want to look more into this for sure, and how to do tags for sure, because at the end of the day, I do want to debate people. I like arguing with people. I like talking to people about stuff I like or hate. All right, that's just my thing. It's my faux pas. Why I like talking about these debate bros all the damn time. All right, guys, see ya.